want to hear, but you need to hear, because the sooner you accept this, the sooner your life will shift. Been there, done that. First of all, let me say this. So I'm not here to judge or shame or guilt anyone, and make sure you're not doing that for yourself. If you say things like, I don't want drama in my life, but you find yourself in the middle of the drama, you find yourself in arguments, snapping, feeling on the edge, never agreeing with your loved ones on things, this is your nervous system. Now, you're not doing this on purpose. This is not your fault. But this is your nervous system responding. You are addicted to drama. And let me explain that. You are addicted to cortisol, adrenaline, and all the other chemical and hormonal cocktail that happens in your body when there's such situations. This is why we have the term drama queen. That's not a personality trait. That's not who you are. It is that you've been stuck in fight or flight or in stress mode for a really long time, and your body has learned and has become addicted to these hormones, addicted to adrenaline, to cortisol, and to the rest of them. This is why we get to adrenal exhaustion, because adrenaline is constantly pumping in our veins. This is why people get cortisol face, quote unquote, or too high of a cortisol. They don't sleep well, they start gaining weight, they can't really lose weight. All of this is connected to your nervous system, but I'm going to say it again, this is not your fault. I used to do the same. I used to be so impulsive. If I got into an argument with someone and I had to say something, there was no walking away. I had to say it then. I felt like I had like such a huge push, there was no way to walk away, right? So I'm speaking from experience, and once again, I'm not judging, guilting, or shaming you. I want to help you understand that this is your nervous system causing this drama in your life. I'm looking at my notes to make sure we cover everything. So sometimes what happens is peace feels boring to your nervous system. It's like, it feels like something is off. This is why it creates situations where there's no peace. Calm feels like it's freaking you out. Calm feels like you're afraid of it almost. You're restless. You can't sit still and just relax and do nothing. All of these things happen because your nervous system is constantly on the alert. This is, again, mainly cortisol, adrenaline, and there's other cocktails in your body. And I want you to think of it quite literally as the addiction. Because what happens is people say, well, I just want to be happy. I want to feel calm. I don't like drama. But their nervous system is constantly bringing them back to that. And if you don't understand that this is addiction, you will not understand that you'll actually go through withdrawals. Quite literally, you will go through withdrawals of adrenaline and high cortisol and all the other hormones that you're potentially addicted to. Not potentially, if you've been there for a long time, we all get addicted to it. We get addicted to our thoughts, we get addicted to our emotions, we get addicted to the chemicals and hormones in our body that are running most of the time. So what happens is you may say things like, I don't want drama, I'm getting away from this person. You got away from one bad relationship, and then you're like, all right, I'm drama free. But your conscious mind, your subconscious mind is like, we don't like peace. We need to find something or someone to argue with. So you are automatically drawn to someone who is on that vibrational level, who will bring you that level of drama that you're comfortable with. Now, not too much, not too little, just enough, right? Like just that right amount that spikes that adrenaline your way. And this is why you're like, I changed the relationship, but I feel the same way. Or maybe you're like, you're wanting to lose weight and you go through the same process of guilting and shaming yourself. And then you change the plan. You're like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go to the gym instead of diet. And it's the same pattern. After a while, you feel or you see the same pattern. This is what happens when you're addicted to these hormones. And once again, I want to stress this out because I know how much people guilt and shame themselves. This is not your fault. Nobody consciously says, bring me on more drama. I love it, right? At least I don't know anybody who does that. So you want to calm your nervous system down so that it feels safe pretty much all the time, unless it really does need to be dysregulated, because that's when we really get into fight or flight. Okay, so let's talk about, again, we talked about why that happens. I'm looking at my notes here. Okay, this looks like needing to argue, picking up fights, feeling on the edge all the time or always in the crisis mode. This is a protective pattern. So let's talk about a couple things that you can do I mean, I show up here and I talk about these little tools that you can apply pretty much every day, but I want to share a couple new ones that you can use to calm your nervous system down and to make sure you're starting to get bits and pieces of calmness. Okay, when your nervous system gets bits and pieces of calmness, it's going to say, oh, okay, this is not too bad. It's safe out here. And you can get more and more into the calmness, okay? So at first, you may do these and not feel much. You may feel like bits and pieces of it. Once again, it may feel good to you in a moment, but then your subconscious mind brings you back to, the level of drama that you're used to. Okay, so just be aware of that. But the more you do these, the more effective they're going to be. So my favorite always is putting your hand on your heart, taking deep breaths, and telling yourself, I am safe. Everything's okay. Connecting with yourself. Okay. The next thing is doing a inhale, hold for as long as it's comfortable, and then when it starts getting uncomfortable, just forcefully exhale. You can repeat this a few times. Hold. Okay. All of these things are signaling to your body that you're not in danger. Okay. Another thing you can do is butterfly tap, where you interlock your fingers, okay, like that. And then you don't want to tap like this, okay? Taking your time and then just tap, 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 okay? You can do that double. All of these are signals to your body that it's fine. You're calm. A very powerful practice that you want to get into whenever you can is grounding. You can look this up online. It's called grounding or earthing. This is when you're barefoot touching the ground, okay? Grass or soil, whatever, right? You can also sit on the ground but touch it with your hands. As long as your skin is touching the earth. That's what's called earthing or grounding. This automatically releases stress from our body, lowers cortisol, lowers adrenaline, lowers blood pressure as well. This is a fantastic practice to do anywhere. Oftentimes people feel this effect with just being around nature. You don't even necessarily have to be barefoot if that's too much. This is why people feel great when they go to the beach. They're in touch with the sand. This is why people feel great, again, in nature, or going for a walk in nature. You want to do things that connect you back to yourself, to connect you back to nature, because these things are primal for us. Another thing you can do, I'll share one more thing before I head out, is doing things with your eyes. So your eyes carry the most tension throughout the day because we're obviously experiencing things. So what you want to do is lower where you're looking. So maybe I'm looking right here, and I'm just going to go from left to right, not feeling tension. This shouldn't be tense, and I'm not moving my head. So just going left to right, again, slowly, and do that a few times. This is focusing you on something else rather than what's going on in front of you. Now, a quick note, I talked about nervous system hygiene before. You want to do these things when you're calm, and you want to make them a habit, so that when you feel dysregulated, you feel some kind of way, you're in the middle of the drama, you can use these techniques to calm yourself down, because you want that. A part of your brain shuts down when you're under high stress. This is why we can't think logically. And if you've ever been in emergency situations or high alert situations, you've probably seen people who are in freeze who just can't even think, right? That's because a part of the brain shuts down. This is why you want to be able to regulate yourself, even in the middle of an argument, because when you're away from the argument and you look back, if you really didn't catch yourself, you're always like, whoa, we overreacted there, right? So again, being there, not judging, guilting, or shaming, just sharing with you, because the quicker you accept that this is your nervous system addiction and you treat it like an addiction, and you observe yourself and you have grace with yourself to give yourself time to wean off of it, the quicker your life will change. If you like this kind of work, if you like to talk more on nervous system, please share in the comments any subjects on nervous system that you'd like me to cover. Share and follow with who needs to hear it. And if you like to dive deeper into this work, we can look into my 7-day intensive that I have in July, where we will work together on regulating your nervous system, going through these exercises in real time to help you regulate within 7 days and quite literally change your life. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.